You know, most bow hunters are very passionate about which bow they take into the field. And another piece of gear that a lot of bow hunters feel very strongly about is their broadhead. This is the new Rage Hypodermic that we're field testing in western Oklahoma, early season whitetails. Took a beautiful whitetail this morning with this head. After the shot, it literally didn't make it 8 yards before it collapsed. And the blood was everywhere. Very impressive performance. Here to tell us a little bit about how the Rage is unique and technologically different than a lot of broadheads is Mike Nischalke from Rage. Mike, what makes this broadhead so special?
Well, I want to congratulate you first, Mark, on that impressive kill that you had.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We really got to see quite a bit of what this broadhead will do. You know, Rage, basically a decade or so ago, they came up with the slip cam broadhead design, which revolutionized mechanical broadheads, and actually created a brand new style of bow shooter, bow hunter. And you know, gave them the confidence that they could actually have something that flies like a field point and actually, you know, deploys and gets a big, huge cut in the side of the animal. Very reliable blade. Through the evolution of the last decade, there have been a few different steps that have come into bringing this broadhead into play. Very, very thin ferrule, and they use it's a steel alloy.
Okay.
That actually you can get your 100 grains, and then they use a .035 inch stainless steel blades that are surgically sharp, and that's where you get those gigantic gigantic cuts and the gigantic holes.
Sure.
So it opens up to as you can see, a 2-inch cut. When it actually impacts and opens up, it actually cuts a little bit larger than that, about maybe an extra 1/4 of an inch, or if you're shooting at an angle and you get a lucky angle, we've seen 6-inch, 7-inch cuts here, I think, this weekend from quartering shots. So
it sure made a big hole in my ear. You know, we were talking earlier this morning about Rage actually does a lot of broadhead penetration testing, and this really, it kind of went off the charts on basically everything you guys have made up to this point. Tell us a little bit about those.
You know, the testing was really amazing. You know, it was one of those things that the original Rage shoe blade penetrates amazing. You know, it's a really great broadhead. When we came out with the titanium a few years ago, that titanium, despite the price point being a little bit high, the cost of manufacturing is exorbitant on that. But nonetheless, its penetration was well beyond the original two blade. And then last year, or 2 years ago, we came out with the extreme broadhead that penetrated even 4 or 5 more inches than that. In the gelatin test blocks that we were using. But this year, after introducing this broadhead, we were getting 16 inches outside of the gelatin block of penetration.
Wow.
It's amazing. We actually had, you know, what we've seen here this week has been quite amazing. Bob, Rob, and I were down in South Texas killing nilgai, which, you know, can range up to 650 pounds. Huge animal.
They're known for their toughness.
Very hard to kill. The front side, they've got skin that, you know, can measure, you know, on some of the middle-aged bulls, you can have a 1/2 inch of skin on the front of the animal. I actually shot mine through the shoulder. It was a little bit high shot, but their shoulder blade is actually about 3/8 of an inch or more thick. This thing blew through, clipped two ribs, took chunks out of those, and blew through to the other side, to the other side of the armor, penetrated in between 2 ribs, and started poking out the other side of the skin before the animal even knew it hit him. It was amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
And he went 65 yards and piled up. Dropped the arrow, and despite how high the shot was, forgive me for that, but it was, he dropped the arrow within 20 yards, and we had a solid blood trail to find him the entire time. It was quite amazing. I've seen bullets that can't actually pass through nilgai, so it was quite a you know, an amazing piece of reconnaissance.
Well, what I like about that is you can talk about how good your broadhead is, but when you actually take it into the field, like we're doing here this week on whitetails and nilgai earlier, and they perform like they did, I mean, that's the proof is in the pudding.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of guys looking for a new broadhead, Mike, they need to check out the Hypodermic. It's an incredible new head and a great design.